Your homework for tonight is to watch this video and take notes, write down questions if you have any that can be answered tomorrow in class, copy and do each of the examples. So let's start by taking out a piece of paper, a pencil, write the proper heading at the top, and put the date as 2/25, and the assignment is homework, and let's get started. Underneath your heading, skip a line. Write number 1. You do not have to copy down the pictures, but it would be helpful if you did. We are going to write congruent statements comparing the corresponding parts in each set of congruent figures. So, let's start with angle M is congruent to which of the other angles? And since angle M has 2 slash marks on it, and so does angle T, that means that angle M and T are congruent. Angle N is congruent to angle S, and angle O is congruent to angle V. And now let's go ahead and do the sides. You notice how angle, oops, I needed to get rid of those. You notice how there is 1 hash mark here and also here. That means that side NO corresponds to and is congruent to side SV. And same with the 2 hash marks, side MN is congruent to ST. And MO is congruent to VT. Skip a line and write number 2. And I'd like you to do number 2. I'm going to give you the first side of each, or the first angle, and then I'd like you to fill in the blanks just like we did in class today. So angle A is congruent to what? Angle B is congruent to what? And angle C. And then I would like you to do the sides. AB is congruent to what? BC is congruent to what? And AC is congruent to what? Skip a line and write number 3. In this statement, we're going to write the congruent statements comparing corresponding parts, just like we did in questions 1 and 2. So I'm going to start with angle H, angle K, angle G, and angle L. And pay close attention to the hash marks. I'm going to do the first 2 for you, and then I'd like you to stop the video or pause it and do the last 2. So angle H has 1 hash mark, and so does angle B. So they've turned this figure, they've rotated it, and moved it over to make a new figure. So angle B and H are congruent. Angle K has 3 hash marks, and so does angle C. So those 2 are congruent. Now I'd like you to go through and I'd like you to do the sides. You have HK and HG. You have KL and GL. And HK, because it has the 1 hash mark, and so does BC, that means that BC is congruent to HK. And I'm going to fill in HG because there are 4 dash marks there, and that would go with AB. And you should fill in the rest. Question number 4, so if you skip a line and write number 4, we're going to determine if the 2 figures are similar. And in order to do that, we need to know the lengths of the sides. And so we can count B to C as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And F to H, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the ratio here of sides is 6 to 5. And I would hope that A to D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and E to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, also have the same ratio of sides. Skip a line for question number 5. We're going to find the length of the missing side, and our missing side here is x. And you can see that I have one hash mark in each of these angles. So 12 and x are corresponding sides. And then I have this 3 over here that I'm going to use. And since the x was put on the bottom, the 3 needs to be put on the bottom because they're both from the same figure. Now, which side corresponds to the 3? That would be our 8 here. And so I'm going to put an 8 on top. And then I'm going to cross multiply. 8x equals 36. Divide by 8. And the missing side is 36 divided by 8, which would be 4 4/8, or 4.5. Skip a line and we have number 6, the last one. I want you to find the missing side on your own. There are multiple ways to set up your proportion, but I'd like you to try it on your own. Pause the video, find an answer, and then play the video or fast forward it to see if you get the same answer that I do. So please hit pause now. So you've done the video, or done the proportion on your own, and you've found the missing side, x. And x corresponds to the 10 on this other triangle that's been dilated. And this 21 corresponds to this 10.5. So I've set them up just like this. I'm going to cross multiply, or you should have already, to get 210. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 10.5. And get x equals. Then I get x equals 20. So now you've gone through the whole video. You've done 6 more examples with me and on your own. Bring this paper with you to class, and you'll show me that you have everything written down and your homework is complete for tonight. Have a good night.